How's it going, everyone? Welcome back. It's been a long time since we've done this. Took a little vacation, little time
Everybody got
off.
COVID,
Everyone got COVID.
one after the other.
Not me. But this is actually episode 7 of Conspirio. I'm your host, Addison Rose.
And I'm Bruno, and we don't talk about me.
I was about to say we weren't going to talk about it. If now. Now you know what the episode is about. We're going to talk about... No, just kidding. Today, in order to kind of ease us back into things, we're going to talk about murder, but...
Twist. Oh.
There's a twist. Bruno, if you want to go ahead and get started. I really thought you were going to say Luca since you were wearing the jersey. I really thought she's going to say, I'm Luca, and then you totally switch it up on me with the whole Bruno thing.
It's your boy.
It's your boy. Right, so yeah.
Okay, so my story has a ghostly twist. So today we're going to be talking about Basa's bitch, Teresita Basa. Teresita Basa was born and raised in the Philippines and she was the only child of a prominent and wealthy couple. She graduated from Assumption College in Manila, then moved to the United States and earned her master's degrees in music from Indiana University. Even though music was clearly her passion and would always have a big place in her heart, she eventually decided that she wanted to work in the medical field and became a respiratory therapist. Super cool lady.
Yeah, I mean, there is breathing in music, so I guess...
It's like she took your breath away.
Take my breath
And then someone
away.
took her breath away.
Oh, boy.
Teresita Basa led a quiet and chill life. As she pursued her doctoral thesis in music at La Toya University, she would give out complimentary piano lessons to the children in her neighborhood. So she was super nice.
That's nice.
In 1977, Teresita was 47 years old, and by all accounts, she was happy where she was at in her life. During this time, she was living in Chicago and was employed at Edgewater Hospital. February 21st, 1977, her friend Ruth called her, and they spoke on the phone about 30 minutes. Ruth would later testify that while she was talking to Teresita, she told her that she was expecting a friend to come over later that night, but didn't tell her why. An hour after Ruth last spoke with Teresita, the fire department was called to Teresita's apartment after neighbors complained about smelling smoke in her area.
Okay.
When firefighters arrived, they found her apartment engulfed in flames and found her nude body under a burning matrix.
She was burning in the Matrix.
She is the Matrix.
Neo.
With a butcher knife still in her chest. Investigators believed that the fire had been set to cover up her murder, which did not work. Because they found her naked, they thought that she was a victim of a sexual crime. However, the autopsy determined that she had not been SA'd.
So, and right away, just if okay.
It's like things were heating up.
You start... Boy. So you start the fire to cover up this murder.
Yeah.
But the skeleton's still gonna have the thing in the chest. Like, what? Like...
I mean, not even the skeleton. Like... The whole body, like there wasn't.
Right. I'm just saying, like, let's say the fire did get hot enough that, like, just take all the meat and skin off, right?
So you're still gonna find the butcher knife,
the bones, and the knife, at least the metal part of the knife, maybe not
the metal part.
Yeah, like maybe it was a wood handle. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, put how'd this get here?
Right.
Not a fire. Sorry.
So. There was no apparent motive for the crime. Investigators couldn't find any evidence and anything, because basically everything had been destroyed by the fire. The only piece of evidence they found was a memo. I believe it was on her refrigerator, but I could be making shit up. Fact check me. There was a memo that said, "Get theater tickets for A.S."
A.S. Okay.
Detectives spent the next several weeks interviewing Teresita's friends, co-workers, neighbors, and classmates. All they were able to learn was that Teresita was a sweet, quiet, and hardworking person that was respected by all her patients. She sometimes went on dates, she had no enemies, and when she wasn't working, she was studying and doing classwork. because she was a boss fucking bitch. Again, like, I always write things.
Right.
And I forget that I write.
Right, boss ass bitch.
Yeah. She was working on securing the bag. Nothing would get them close, but nothing that would get them closer to solving her murder. The investigation began to gain steam in July of 1977 when Detective Joe, I'm gonna say it sounds like spatula. It's spelled statula. Statula?
Statula.
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 Mm.
Detective Joe arrived to work one morning to find a note on his desk asking him to call Evanston Police Department about the Basa murder. I like how that's like left on a memo.
Right.
Like on a post-it, like.
So the fridge was fine, which is important.
The fridge?
Yeah, because that's where the memo was, right on the fridge. So the fridge is good.
No.
Buy that fridge.
A memo for Joe, for the detective in the case.
Okay.
Not for Teresita. She was no longer accepting memos during that time.
Gotcha.
Detective went to work. There was a post-it that said, "Call about this murder." You would think they would keep him on the phone. In case you forgot. I don't know.
Yeah.
Making no fucking progress himself, the detective immediately called the Evanston officer that had left them a message, and the officer let him know that he had gotten a call from someone claiming to have information about Teresita's murder. The detective told him to get in doctor with Dr. Jose Chua, a doctor that lived in Skokie, a suburb of Chicago.
Skokie?
Skokie?
Skooky. Okay.
Skooky.
I like that name.
There's a little skooky there.
A little skooky.
Detective Spatula.
Alright, he's forever. I'm sorry. You're going to be Detective Spatula from now on. There's just two. I know it's probably not original to you.
But
I'm sure you got picked on. Yeah. You're
Spatula.
You know.
And his partner, Detective Lee Eplin, arranged to interview Dr. Chua at his home. Dr. Chua was able to spill some tea for the detectives, but it was not the tea that they were used to. The type of tea that they were used to. Even though Dr. Chua was a little embarrassed and a little worried that detectives weren't going to take him seriously, I worded that really badly. So basically, the detectives get there, they have small talk. How are you doing? Nice home. Here's some sweet tea. Or it's the north. Here's some
we said Chicago, tea. Right?
Yeah.
So probably like, hey, are you
Chicago.
Yeah, you a White Sox fan? You like the Cubs? You know.
Deep dish pizza.
Yeah, something like that.
So after that, Dr. Chua looked at the detectives and said, "Do you guys believe in spirits or the supernatural?"
Ease right into that conversation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
After he brought out the appetizer of the dish tea. the deep dish pizza. The detectives, trying not to lose their shit, continued to listen to the doctor. I mean, what the fuck else were they gonna do? They weren't making any progress. You would think they would try to find everybody with the initials AS in her fucking life, but whatever.
I mean, if the first 48 is any indication of how any murder goes, after 48, there's like, nah, next one.
Cold.
And I'm sure there's plenty of them in Chicago. Don't come at me, Chicago. There's a lot of murders there. Just facts. Probably a lot to work with.
Dr. Chua told the detectives that he believed his wife, Remy, had been possessed by the spirit of Teresita Basa.
Okay, so
Yeah.
She's doing...
The wife's there, too. He's like, possessed.
Okay. Wait, still currently? Like, she's
no,
still?
Oh, okay. She got possessed. We're getting there.
Gotcha.
Remy was also from the Philippines, and she had started having strange dreams involving Teresita, begging her to please tell the police what happened to her. So from what I understand, Dr. Chua and Remy worked in the same hospital that Teresita worked at, but I don't believe they knew each other directly. I feel like they knew of each other.
Sure. In passing.
Yeah. So Remy was having dreams that Teresita was begging her to call the police and tell her what happened to her. She had attempted to ignore them, but one day while she was asleep, she got into a trance-like state and started speaking to her husband in a voice that wasn't her own. Possessed Remy, aka possessed by Teresita, Remy, told Joe that her killer's name was Alan, the name's Showery.
The AS.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay.
A.S.
Okay.
Possessed Remy slash Teresita voice. The possessed Remy slash Teresita voice claimed that he was an orderly that worked at the hospital. She told Joe to go to the police right fucking now. Then, just like that, actual Remy woke up and claimed to have no memory of what happened. Joe decided at first to not go to the police. Like, what the fuck is he gonna do?
Yeah, I mean it's a stretch, right?
That's crazy that like your wife, like.
And you said the guy's name was Alan.
Alan, yeah.
She was gonna get you theater tickets, man, and you went and just murdered her. The theater.
A couple days later, Teresita paid Joe and Remy another visit from beyond the grave. Possessed Teresita slash Remy charged up Joe and asked him why he hadn't gone to the police in a fit of annoyance.
You heard me the first time, guys.
No. Joe, in a fit of annoyance, was like, I don't have any fucking evidence to her.
Have the ghost take the stand. Or possessed.
Yeah. So possessed Remy slash Teresita then told Joe Alan had taken jewelry from her after the murder and given it to his girlfriend and tell the police that. This story gave me chills. Even reading that right now gives me chills.
Yeah. This whole...
Like, ooh. Detective Spatula, after being shooketh, did not know whether he should trust the information or not. But again, what the fuck were you doing, Detective Spatula?
What? That's not even like a lead. I mean,
it's a lead. Alan Showery, A.S.
Right.
Orderly at the hospital. Would it kill you to check it out?
It might. Killed her.
It sounds like he checked her out permanently.
Boosh.
Anyways, since he didn't have any other leads, he decided to do a background check on Showery and found out that Showery had lived close to Teresita. Co-workers confirmed that he was planning to go to her apartment that night to repair her television, which, why the fuck was this not mentioned before? Shitty police work in parentheses. Get your shit together.
No.
Spatula brought Showery in for question.
Spatula, okay.
Yeah, Showery confirmed that he went to her apartment to repair the television, but he claimed that he did not have the tools, so he went back home. So he showed up toolless, was like, I don't have the tools, and then went home.
Right. I'm gonna fix this TV with my bare hands.
Right. Spatula, not believing him, not believing the story that he gave him, called Showery's girlfriend and asked if Showery had given her any jewelry recently. She said that he had, and she agreed to let Teresita's friends and family inspect it, and it was confirmed that it was some of Teresita's jewelry. Look at Jules reading that. Oh, this story gets me. Confronted with the evidence, Showery confessed to Teresita's murder. He said that after he left the apartment, he made a plan to return to rob her. When he returned, he told the detectives that he had stripped her of her, or killed her, or stripped her of her clothes to make it look like she had been essayed, like a Mexican got her, and stabbed her once in the chest. His plan was to get enough money to pay his rent. Failed. He was only able to find $30 in cash, grab some jewelry to make it worth his while. Which for the longest time I thought it was worthwhile.
Ah. Yeah.
It's not.
But he didn't even sell the jewelry. He gave it for free to his...
Which is so twisted.
Yeah, I mean, at least sell it.
It's so twisted.
Get that money.
Well, and then started the fire to cover up very elaborate crime.
Sure.
Despite this confession, Showery pleaded not guilty to Teresita's murder. While in prison awaiting retrial, Alan had a change of heart, or perhaps a visit from Teresita, and decided to plead guilty in exchange for a reduced sentence. When a mistrial occurred, I wrote that terrible. There was a mistrial in the first trial. While waiting second trial, I changed his heart, if he had one. And then he pleaded guilty for a reduced sentence. He pleaded guilty February 23rd, 1979, receiving a 14-year sentence, but only served like 3 or 4 years, and he was released on parole in 1983. So the fucker's probably still out there.
Damn.
And that's it. Murder with a twist.
That is... I mean, we've
It really gave me a shot in the chest.
You know, I just... if that's true, which sounds like
it's
it
true.
is...
She solved her own murder.
She really is a
People,
boss
don't
bitch.
trust the police. Solve your own murder.
Trust ghosts. I guess would be the...
Trust your... and I don't believe that Remy ever became Remy/Teresita ever again.
Yeah, I mean, her work's done, right? So that probably like made her like pass on or do anything, you know, do what she needed to do. But that's
what
wild.
A boss bitch. She solved her own murder.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess I'm just so like, why would that guy, Alan Shearer, whatever? Why would he confess? It doesn't sound like, oh yeah, jewelry. Ooh.
I feel like he was not smart.
Oh, definitely not. I mean,
I want to say I read that he only needed like $50 for his rent to complete it or something like that. Like for almost he murdered someone.
They didn't sell the jewelry. That's what I'm on. He doesn't even sell the jewelry.
Gave it to his girl. That's sick. I feel like he wanted to do something nefarious and he did.
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe she was haunting him and that's why he confessed.
I mean, I hope. I mean, that would at least make sense. I mean, if you can do the neighbor or whatever, the other person that she worked with, why not hop to the actual killer? Yeah. That's freaking wild, though.
I know. Did it give you
That's
chills?
A good one. Yeah, I mean,
have you heard of this one before?
No, never. No, that's... Then again, I don't read a lot of like ghost stories.
I'm gonna post pictures of her on... there's already pictures of her on our Instagram.
Oh, nice. Nice. Check it out. Our Instagram is... Conspirial_podcast. So check it out. See the pictures there. All right, you ready? Ready for mine?
Yeah.
Mine's wild, and not really much of a twist, but there is a funny, and it's gonna start dark.
Murder with a funny.
It's gonna get dark real quick. This dude, you've probably heard of this guy before. I had never heard of him up until I read like a post about it, and I was like, get the fuck out of here. Anyway. So my story, it's going to be a lot of murders. It's a lot. This guy is technically a serial killer, but there is a twist to it. So this gentleman's name is Pedro Rodrigues Filho, a.k.a. Pedrihno Matador. So he's known as the Little Pedro Killer. I saw the widest translation saying the Little Petey Murderer, because apparently Pedro means Pete or something like that. Like, no, he would not want to be called Little Petey. Like, that is just no.
Shit what he wants to be called.
Anyway, so he was a Brazilian serial killer who focused on killing other criminals. That was his specialty. So like a Brazilian Dexter, basically, is who this guy was. But not as... I'll get into it. So he was officially sentenced for 71 murders. 71. He claims to have killed about 100. And 47 of his 71 confirmed he killed while he was in prison. So he'd already gotten arrested and then like more than doubled his killing while he was in prison. Just absolutely wild. So take it back.
That's the way to do it.
Take it back, yeah. So Rodrigues was born in Santa Rita do Sapucaí, and I'm sorry, Brazilian, Portuguese, it's just not...
Brazilian, I'm sorry,
Brazilians, the wax. He was born on a farm on July 17th, 1954. So, he was a Cancer. We all know how...
Sensitive they are. But don't cross us.
Yeah, just not a good start.
The people we love.
Yeah, there's just... I mean... Name a good Cancer.
What was his son in? I'm kidding.
Yeah, so a little fun fact about him: he was born with a bruised skull because his dad kicked his pregnant mother's belly during a fight.
It's always the head injury.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, it's crazy.
Did she get any hits in?
Probably not. Probably not. So anyway, and we'll go back to the mother and father. We'll go back to the mother and the father here in a little bit. So he admitted to that the first time he felt the urge to kill someone, he was 13 years old, right? He was in a fight with his older cousin, and he shoved his cousin into a sugarcane press, where they take the sugarcane and to make sugar out of. They were in a fight. He pushed him into. Cousin survived.
Why were they fighting a sugarcane factory?
Yeah, well, he was on a farm. I'm guessing it was a sugarcane farm, but so it was a press, and he just shoved his cousin into it because they were in a fight.
Did he crush his cousin?
He got hurt, but he survived. The cousin survived, right? But that was his 13 when he did this. He was like, oh, that was my first urge. So he waited a whole nother year before he actually killed someone. He was 14 when he committed his first murder. He killed the deputy mayor of Santa Rita by shooting him with his grandpa's shotgun.
That seems to be a trend as well.
At 14.
Yeah. That like serial killers stealing their grandparents.
Yeah. But like he didn't like kill any animals first. He wasn't testing out the waters. He did a little shovey. And it was like, hey, that's pretty good. I like that. I'm going to get my grandpa's shotgun. Know where it is.
And the deputy mayor?
So he shot the deputy mayor in front of City Hall because he fired his father. His father was a school guard who was accused of stealing food from the school kitchen. Right? So he shot and killed the deputy mayor for firing his dad unjustly. And then he killed a security guard who he suspected was the actual theft. So 2 murders at 14. Just right off the bat.
His dad didn't even steal the food?
Not according to him. He did not. Wasn't there. So he's kind of got this like whole vengeance and,
Bay Harbor Butcher.
Yeah, kind of just already at it. So after he did that, he ran away because he killed the deputy mayor and security guards. He was like, all right, this is cool. I'm 14. I've already committed a dual homicide. I'm out. So he leaves and goes to another town. They
didn't arrest him?
No, he escaped. He was like, guess what? I'm a man now, and I'm out.
Jeez. He didn't even have his quinceañera yet.
So he moved to Mogi de Cruces, which is right outside of Sao Paulo, and he joined a gang and he began robbing drug dens and killing traffickers. Still at 14. He's still a child doing this, right? Just want to keep that in mind because it gets wilder. So soon after this, he met the love of his life named Maria Olympia, and they nicknamed her Botinha, and they began living together. He soon became, after he was part of the gang, I love this part, he was forced to kill 3 rival gang members.
It was like, all right.
His words.
If you join, you have to go these. Are they criminals?
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Right. Well, you're in a gang too, right? You just, I guess you can say robbing drug dens and killing traffickers. Just trying to put food on the table, He's a goddamn Brazilian Batman over here, but more brutal apparently. So then after he did that, so we're already up to like about 10 murders just right off the bat, age 14, right? So Botinha became pregnant and was then killed by a rival gang member, right? So her and his unborn child were then killed by a rival gang member. Now, how do you think... how do you think Pedrihno Matador?
It sounds like he was forced to kill some other people.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He played his hand. Yeah, he had to. Right. And side note, this is how white I am. I had no idea Matador meant killer.
Matador.
Right. Yeah. Like you see like the bullfighters, right? The Matadors, and you're like, oh, okay.
Well, they don't hug him at the end of the book.
Well, that's the thing. Like we watch like cartoons and stuff, like Bugs Bunny. He's the Matador, right? And it's like, oh, he just runs through a cape or whatever, and it's like, oh, the reason they call him the Matador is he kills the bull. Just wild. Anyway. Side note. So Botinha and his unborn child were killed, and so then he decided to recruit some soldiers and set up his own gang. Because he's ambitious. Yeah, so for the revenge for Botinha and his unborn child, he tortured and killed several people trying to find out who was responsible, which he did. Once he found out who was responsible, he and 4 friends went to visit said gang, the rival gang member, at a wedding party.
It's important to have a good support system.
Right, yeah, don't do it alone. I mean, he's, Batman and Robin.
He had 4 friends.
Yeah, he had 4 friends. So it was during a wedding where he walked up to this.
It's very like The Godfather.
And they left a trail of 7 dead and 16 wounded at this wedding. absolutely, yeah. So, I mean, just doubling his numbers like it was nothing, right? So after he got revenge, he starts feeling a little bit better about himself. And then word gets back to him that Rodriguez's father had just killed his mother. So...
I mean, this guy's just getting a lot of bad news.
It's just not going well. So, once again, he didn't take his mother's killing very well. So he found out that his dad was at a city jail in a city called Magi. And so he went in and killed his father with 22 machete blows.
To the jail?
Mm-hmm. In the jail. He killed his father in the jail with a machete.
I guess he could, I'm here to visit him, but he went in with a machete?
Yep. Mm-hmm. And 22, it says blows, but I feel like a blow feels like a bat, right? Yeah. Machete, you're carving into somebody, you know what I mean?
It gets stuck, you gotta wiggle it out.
Right. But he didn't stop there, because he was really angry this time. You know, it was his mother.
His mom.
Right? So, in addition to, like I said, the 22 stab wounds, he ripped out his father's heart, chewed it apart, and spat it out. So... Oh, and this was everything up to this point was all before he was 18 years old.
Jesus.
All of this. He killed his father when he was 18. So all of that was still a child. So anyway, so like I said, he was born in 1954. So he was arrested in 1973, right? According to police records, he was transported in a vehicle with another prisoner. Rodriguez killed the other inmate in the van, or in the police cruiser, without the police noticing. They get there. I don't know how big the van was. Maybe there's no windows. But you'd think there'd be a tussle.
Right, you think you'd hear
something, right? So when they arrived, the police opened the door, saw the other prisoner dead, and they were like, Did you do this? did you do this? He goes, yeah, he was a rapist. So...
Feminist.
Yeah, he found out he was like, what are you in for? Rape. Oh, you know what I'm in for?
Murder.
A lot of murder. A lot of murder.
Of assholes.
Best part about this, they were both handcuffed. So he murdered, that's just so, this
he had
dude.
To be strong. You know how much he weighed, how tall he was?
No, I don't. Not to be stereotypical, I'm assuming he was tiny. Brazilians are kind of short people. But the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, man, just... Yeah. Wild. So, that was on his way to jail, right? So he's in jail. He gets sentenced to 126 years for all the murder that he does.
Yeah, so what's 100 more?
Right, yeah, I mean, you're going to be in there for a long time. So I have a couple of prison stories here for him because, like I said, 47 of the 71 murders were in prison. So these were the best ones that I could find. One day, Rodriguez was attacked by 5 prisoners. He killed 3 of them and chased away the other 2.
He had to be strong. He had to be big and strong.
It's like they're making this up. This is like a comic book. Like he's the Punisher. For sure. Take Batman. He is the Punisher.
He's the Dark Knight.
Yeah, 5v1. He kills 3 and the other 2 were like, I don't like my odds, and they did. He then later.
I mean, he was in there for 30 murders at this point.
Yeah, like I said.
And they're like, let's jump him.
And the other one, he also killed one of his cellmates. And it was initially reported that he killed a cellmate because he snored too much.
I'll spit my drink out. That would have been gone.
Doesn't seem like his MO,
No.
But he later was interviewed about it, and he goes, no, I didn't kill him because he snored too much. I'm not an animal. He didn't say, I'm not an animal. I'm just adding that. He's not a monster. So he goes, it's because he spied on me having a conjugal visit.
That's pervy.
It is pretty,
That's perfect.
Yeah, so I
don't spy on your roommate's conjugals.
I'm not saying I believe the murderer, but if that follows his MO
he
more than...
He hasn't lied up till now, though.
It makes more sense than the snoring too loud. So, and a fun fact about him, he has a tattoo on his left arm that says, I kill for pleasure. I'm assuming that's in Portuguese, but just makes me laugh that it might be in English. How like we get other people's tattoos, languages under tattoos. So like I said, he killed 47 more in prison, and due to all these killings he did, they sentenced him to almost 400 years, going for 126 years.
What's 400 more then?
To 400 years. So, but here's where it kind of gets interesting. Even though he was sentenced to almost 400 years, he was set to be released in 2003. Because at the time, a Brazilian law stipulated that no one could spend more than 30 years behind bars. Which is fine, but then what's the point of sentencing him to 400? Like, what are we doing here? What's the... Just say, okay, 30, whatever. So anyway, so he actually didn't get out in 2003.
Aw, really?
Yep. His incarceration was extended until 2017. So an additional, 14 more years. Mm-hmm. So, and then funny enough, it's due to him that they now, in 2019, they increased the maximum time to 40 years instead of 30, since he was in there for 34 years or something like that. So, yeah. So anyways, he was released early. Instead of 2017, he got released early on April 24th, 2007. Released, right? He spent 34 years in prison, and he actually was given the freedom to remake his life with his new girlfriend, who was also a former prisoner, who wasn't named. And I just thought this was so crazy because she was in jail for 12 years for theft. Now, this man spent 34 years and killed 71 people. Claimed to killed 100, so 0.3 people a year. Anyway, so I thought that was crazy. So they end up getting married, and while they were in prison, they exchanged letters. And then when she got out, obviously before him, she went to visit him in the prison, and I'm assuming that's the conjugal visit. That the roommate was, whatever. So 4 years later, in 2001, Rodriguez was again arrested.
He got out in 2007, but then 4 years later, 2001?
Yeah. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
You said 2001.
Oh, 2011. I'm sorry. I can't read. So in 2011, he was arrested again. He worked as a caretaker. And
caretaker.
Mm-hmm, yeah, because sweet guy, he served 8 years in prison after being found guilty of participating in 6 riots. So he's bringing it down. 71 murders. We're only going to rioting now.
Riots.
I'm a caretaker.
He's a riot.
I can only riot. Nice. And deprivation of liberty, which I thought was a very interesting. I hadn't heard such a flowery term for. Maybe he was doing something to the people he was caretaking. It didn't really go much further into that. So he was once again imprisoned and was released in 2018. So he spent another 7 years. And he is currently out. And this is my favorite part of the whole story. Besides that, it's wild, right? So since his release, that tattoo that read, "I kill for pleasure," he got it covered up. Modesty, I get it.
Right.
And he has since started
He's a different bitch now.
YouTube channel.
No.
This man is on YouTube.
What kind of videos is he making?
So his name was Pedrihno Matador.
Yeah.
So now his YouTube name is Pedrihno X Matador. Con Jesus.
Like and subscribe his dog. Con Jesus?
Con Jesus. Yep. So he is a born again Christian, and I watched a couple of his videos they're in Portuguese, but it's very. He found his way and good for him. Mm-hmm. Not that crazy. he would let people in if they were having a flood.
I think the ex-Matador would let people in.
Yeah, so he has 23.4 thousand subscribers.
Way more than us.
He has 81 videos, and his top-rated video was posted 11 months ago. Has 120,000 views.
Damn.
And it's about him being baptized at 66.
We need to get baptized on their next. Speaking of baptism, I don't remember what city in Texas, but there's this father that this priest that was saying like, I baptize you. That he was saying, we baptize you in the name of the Son, the Father, the Holy, and it's supposed to be I baptize you. So they're invalidating all the baptisms he did.
Just because he said we?
Yeah, because that's not how you.
So God's allowed to be 3 people in one, but he can't say we?
Nah,
it's
either that or vice versa. I'm pretty sure he said we and it's supposed to be I. I baptize you in the. Because I feel like Father Clifford baptized me with I. Yeah. I baptize you in the. Yeah, so that would ruin my fucking week if I found out my baptism invalidated.
Okay, well, hold on. That bothers me more because the whole point of baptism, right? It's one of the sacraments.
Yes.
It allows you to be forgiven by.
Yes.
I don't think God gives a shit whether you say I or we or vice versa or whatever. What
the church does.
The church. Fuck the church. If you're what are you doing with the pedophiles? You're worrying about I and we? What are you doing with the pedophiles? Moving them to another church?
They're not worried about I and we.
Get the fur. Yeah. Except putting the we in the little children. Jesus Christ. Pick your goddamn battles. Oh, there you go. Fucking shit.
How appropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that would ruin my day. Like,
that just makes me so angry.
How many people gotta get rebaptized? Yeah, like they're validating their paperwork. Like they're not.
I bet if they pay taxes, they wouldn't have to revalidate their goddamn baptism since it's all freaking free and a goddamn profit fest.
It's not free.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like they don't pay taxes.
No, they don't pay taxes.
So imagine if they had to extend their. Yeah, of course not.
Can you sue the church?
If they can catch them. Anyway, how crazy was that story?
That was really fun.
You know,
it went a lot of places.
Yeah, Pedrihno Matador, dude, you are awesome. Like I have.
He's really funny.
Now I didn't.
LX Matador, if you could like and subscribe and comment below.
Please come on our podcast.
If you could settle why you had to kill your pervy roommate, that would be great.
That'd be great.
We would love to have you on.
Now, I didn't go through, I didn't see, they didn't have records for all 71 murders, but the ones that I did read.
If you want to tell us who the other 30 murders were on the podcast.
It seems like it was all valid.
It seemed all valid.
Growing up on a farm in the south of Brazil in the 50s and 60s.
And your dad's kicking your mom's ass while you're in her.
Yeah, and then and then I'm sure your older cousin deserved it. I don't know what he did.
Maybe he was an asshole.
You know what?
Did Jared ever do something that bad to you that you wanted to throw him in a?
No, Jared was cool.
Jared was cool.
Yeah, Jared was always cool.
I don't think I had a mean older cousin.
No.
I think I was the mean older cousin.
I believe that. But yeah, no, I was reading his story, and then once I found out that he had a YouTube channel, that's just...
He's got way more subscribers than us.
Way more subscribers than us.
Maybe we need to...
Start killing
130 people.
Where can I get a sugarcane press? Do you know?
We gotta get the taste of it first to see if we can stomach it down.
Sure.
That's what she said.
Sure. Oh, nice. Sweet. Yeah. But yeah, that's it. Stay tuned. We're going to be filming another episode of...
Next week.
Alleged Confessions?
Yes.
That's what I was going to say.
Oh.
And then we're going to keep... I know we took a long break when you went out of the country, did a lot of things. So we're back. We're going to do this on a weekly basis.
Better than ever.
Thank you so much for tuning in. And...
and subscribe. Comment below.
Any cool story or any weird event that you want us to
please.
do? Well, Matador, check us out.
LX Matador, please.
Sorry.
Con Jesus.
Pedrihno X Matador. Con Jesus. Or I don't know what to say.
Baptize me.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh my. So yeah, send us any recommendations or any story you want us to do research. At our Gmail. It's
any topics.
Conspirial@gmail.com.
You can follow us on Instagram. You can follow us on Instagram at conspirial_conspirial_podcast.
Forgot to turn my phone on vibrate. No.
You can follow me at Anna Dez, ANNADEZ. Fuck Anna's with one N.
Yeah, I don't have an Instagram. Did you already do the TikTok? You can follow us at TikTok at Conspirial. Look us on Facebook, Conspirial. CONSPIRIAL. And
yes.
Thank you for stopping by. See y'all next week.
Peace.
Later.
Wait, I think it's still recording. I think